Hello guys, today is day 6 of STAAR review, and today we will be reviewing how to compare data on dot plots and box plots. So starting with box plots, a lot of this is just vocabulary. If you can know the vocabulary words, then these questions should not be too difficult. So first, let's go ahead and review what they all mean. The minimum is the least value, so it's where that first dot is. So go ahead and label that minimum, and that's in between 2 and 4, which is 3. The maximum is the last dot, the biggest value, so you can label that max, and that dot lands on 18. The first quartile is where the box begins. So here's the beginning of the box. That's your Q1. And that lands on 6. The third quartile is where your box ends. So right here, there's Q3. And that's in between 14 and 16. So Q3, or a third quartile, will be 15. On these types of questions, sometimes they will call it the median or the center. And that is where the dot inside the box is. So the only dot inside the box is right here. So I'm going to label that the median, and that's on 12. The median is the middle, so you're picking the middle dot. To find the range, we actually have to do a little bit of math. That's when we're going to do our maximum minus minimum. So our max was 18. And the min was 3. So to find the range, we got to do 18 minus 3, which is 15. So that's the normal range, or it might be called the spread. The interquartile range sounds complicated, but it's the same process. It's just that we're only looking at the box. So that's the interquartile range, is how big the box is. So we're going to do Q1 or Q3 minus Q1, where the box ends minus where the box starts. Well, the third quartile was 15, and the first quartile was 6. So to find the range of the quartiles, or the interquartile range, we need to do 15 minus 6, which equals 9. So that's how we can find our values on a box plot. And these are the vocabulary words that you need to know what they mean. Moving down to dot plots. We have similar words here. On a dot plot, the minimum value is the smallest number with a dot. Doesn't matter how many numbers there are, just the smallest value with a dot, which we can see there's a dot on 1, so that's our minimum. Our maximum is the biggest number with a dot. Doesn't matter how many dots there are, just has to have at least one on the biggest number, which in this case is 10. So 10 would be our maximum. The median, or the center, is the middle number. Sometimes you can tell the median on a dot plot just by looking at it. So if I were to look and guess, I would say the median is probably somewhere around 5. But we can solve it for sure by crossing out the first and the last dots until we get to the middle. So I'm going to cross out first, last, first, last, first, last, all the way until I get to the dot in the middle. Well, now I've got 2 dots left in the middle. One's on 5 and one is on 6. So if you have 2 dots in the middle, that's when you need to do 5 plus 6, and then divide that by 2. 5 plus 6 is 11, and 11 divided by 2 equals 5.5. So that is our actual median. To find the range, or the spread, we're going to do the maximum minus the minimum. So we can see that the max is 10, the minimum is 1, And if we subtract 10 minus 1, we're left with 9. And finally, the mode is the number with the most dots. So if we look at our dot plot, the most dots happen on 5. So 5 would be our mode. So that is how you find the values of box plots and dot plots. Your questions are going to have you compare two different box plots or dot plots. So all you're going to need to know is what these vocabulary words mean so that you can make those comparisons.